Hi Skyline, I'm Aileen Bucog, the multimedia editor for the Skyline View. I'm here with Off Hours. Can you guys introduce yourselves?
Hi, I'm Epti.
And I'm Catherine.
And I'm Shay.
So we're a curatorial collective, and as you may know, Dr. Z is responsible to curate shows inside the gallery here at Skyline, and she teaches here. She invited us as guest curators to put a show together in the space.
We started our collective in November 2023. Shaylin and I were in the curatorial practice program at CCA, which no longer exists. And then Epti was in the MFA program.
We were finding that there weren't a ton of DIY spaces or opportunities for our peers to exhibit in the Bay Area. Off Hours really came out of a want to build our community, create connections across our community, and give artists a platform to exhibit their work.
We decided to take up the show because the space is unique, and we were able to think about thematically who would go well together, but also who would really benefit from exhibiting in a space this big. Because we've curated in spaces like with only 2 feet from the wall. So this one had a lot of, again, unique features that we wanted to extend to our artist community.
What is the one thing you want viewers and visitors to get from this exhibition?
For me, I would say maybe like a moment of reflection and like humanity.
And I feel like the past couple months, politically in the United States have been happening at the same time as we've been developing the concepts for this exhibition. In a very, like, as we've been writing, you know, the things in all across the United States and specifically Minneapolis have been happening. Moments of a little bit of quiet and a little bit of peace, but also, slower moment maybe to reflect on things that are important to us as individuals and how we want to show up for our communities. And there's a little bit of hope.
Yeah,
there's a little bit of hope.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you have just people like, oh, you actually know what I'm going through. Oh, we're all going through it is also an acknowledgement.
Yeah.
Even though we all know what's going on, there's still a lot of loneliness, and you think that, oh, okay, so we're all agreeing that we're all going through this thing.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Like, great, we have each other.
So when and how does opacity function as a protection rather than erasure? And who is granted the right to remain unknowable? How do simple acts of concealment and repetition become forms of agency under conditions shaped by surveillance, displacement, and state violence? Who decides the ethical boundaries between witnessing, extraction, and spectacle? And do we want to know the answer, or do we want to have those things remain unknowable?
Hi, my name is Sana Safanasab. I'm an Iranian-American interdisciplinary artist based in San Francisco.
I am Javier Roberto Carlos, and I am a documentary filmmaker and a multidisciplinary artist.
My name is Lorena Molina. I'm a Salvadoran artist, multimedia, interdisciplinary. I do photography, performance, video, sculpture, installation, whatever I feel like the work needs.
My work is based on identity, cultural identity, and the series that I have here, unidentified bodies, and they're representing oppressed, displaced bodies.
Could you tell me a bit about the film you showed?
The film is a three-channel expanded cinema film, which documents this event called La Caminata Nocturna, which is a 5-hour reenactment of a border crossing that is put on by people who have actually crossed the border for tourists.
This work is there's from 2 series. They're in conversation with each other, but one of them is called This Must Be the Place. And I'm from El Salvador. I immigrated here when I was 14. And most of my family left during the Civil War.
One thing that is really important for me is to representing the traditions of textiles of Iran in a new, more abstracted, contemporary setting. I want the viewers to see themselves kind of like abstracted, deconstructed, and reconstructed again.
I actually heard about it in a podcast called Radio Ambulante by Daniela Alarcón. Generally, I have an idea and it ruminates, and then if I keeps ruminating, then I kind of have to go seek it out. So I raised some funds and went to Mexico, went to Hidalgo, Mexico,
I use a lot of ecologies in my work because I'm a lot of the history with the Civil War in El Salvador is tied to ecologies and land. So I'm thinking about the plants and what they represent historically, politically. How does that relate to the displacement of my family?
Weaving is kind of like tactile drawing. It's just putting lines next to each other. They don't have like a pattern to follow. But at the same time, I feel like the textiles and like yarns and wool, I can organically connect to the material.
It creates an interesting question and dynamic that disrupts the general narrative of immigrants as being victims of many political forces and policies. People are telling their own story, and so I'm interested in what it means to sell your own story, because so many immigrant stories are told by people that are not immigrants. And in this case, it's immigrants taking hold of their own narrative.
This series specifically, can I make work about pleasure, beauty, decadence? Can I make work that feels comforting? My other work is kind of really difficult to make, and I'm tackling really like difficult, violent histories. So this one feels like a breath of fresh air in my practice.
My work is very literal and very much in your face. I think the other works really ask viewers to take a moment and really look at the work and observe it and pay attention to the small details in that work to fully grasp what's happening. With Lorena's photography, it's colorful, it's beautiful, but it's so much deeper. There's so much meaning in the way that it's framed, colors and what it represents. With Sanasa's work, each thread and what the actual work represents is extremely important. So I don't want to spoil that for people when they come to the work, but I think it's important to spend time with those two works specifically.
My name is Dr. Z, is what I ask my students to call me. My legal name is Kathy Zarur. I teach art history. That's my main job here, but I also run the art gallery. This time I brought in guest curators. People who know the curators and know the artists will come and pay closer attention. By bringing in guest curators, we're highlighting this gallery even more. The exhibition closes on March 20. March 10, we're going to have an event where all of the artists and a couple of the curators will also be here to have a conversation about some of the themes in the exhibition.